Welcome back to another episode of Strange States of America. Last week we covered some of the stories coming out of Alabama. So this week we are going to Alaska. So grab your coats and your hats because off we go. Alaska is a non-contiguous U.S. state on the northwest extremity of North America. It borders British Columbia, excuse me, and Yukon in Canada to the east, and it shares a western maritime border with the Bering Strait, with Russia's, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, Chukotaka, Chakota, oh shit, Chakotaka Autonomous Okrug. I know I just fucking butchered the hell out of that. The Chukchi and Beaufort Seas of the Antarctic Ocean lie to the north, and the Pacific Ocean lies to the south. Technically a semi-exclave of the United States, Russia. Alaska is the largest exclave in the world. I do not know what an exclave is, but I'm about to look it up. Give me 1 second. I'll let you know what it is. Let's see. Let's go to Google. We're going to exclave. Exclave, a portion of territory of one state completely surrounded by territory of another or others as viewed by the home territory. So pretty much it's cut off. It's on its own. But it's surrounded. Alaska is the largest U.S. state by area, comprising more total area than the next three largest states of Texas, California, and Montana combined. Goddamn, it's so big. That's what she said. Whoa. And is the seventh largest subnational division in the world. It is the third least populous and most sparsely populated U.S. state, but with a population of 736,081 as of 2020. It is the continent's most populous territory, located mostly north of the 60th parallel, with more than quadruple the combined populations of northern Canada and Greenland. The state capital of Juneau, the state capital of Juneau, I don't know how to say that right, is the second largest city in the United States by area. The former capital of Alaska, Sitka, is the largest U.S. city by area. The state's most populous city is Anchorage. Completely half of Alaska's residents live within the Anchorage metropolitan area. Indigenous people have lived in Alaska for thousands of years, and it is widely believed that the region served as the entry point for the initial settlement of North America by way of the Bering Land Bridge, which we can't really see above water right now because our sea levels rise and basically took it over. The Russian Empire was the first to actively colonize the area beginning in the 18th century, eventually establishing Russian America. which spanned most of the current state and promoted and maintained a native Alaskan Crowley population. Crowley population. The expanse and logistical difficulty of maintaining this distant possession prompted its sale to the U.S. in 1867 for U.S. $7.2 million, equivalent to $151 million in 2022. The area went through several administrative changes before becoming organized as a territory on May 11, 1912. It was admitted as the 49th state of the U.S. on January 3rd, 1959. So, that in Hawaii, it's still young as a state. So let's move on to what we came here for. So have you heard of the Bermuda Triangle, where all the ships, planes, and people have went missing? What if I told you that there is multiple places like this scattered through the United States? One of them happens to be in Alaska. The Alaska Triangle spans from Anchorage to Juneau, which I know I butchered again, and covers a large distance in between, including in this area is the barren and remote territory, much of which includes untouched wilderness. Despite its remote nature, the area is home to a reasonably dense population as well as a population of tourists who visit annually. This unusual triangular region runs from the most populated city in the state to one of the most remote, and has been associated with some fairly unusual phenomena. While many people do believe that there is something unusual or paranormal happening within this triangle, there are also some interesting facts about its geography and why such strange things happen there. The rate of missing people is nearly twice the average amount through the country. While the explanation for this might not be as sinister as some people believe it to be, it's still a massive goddamn stutter. Statistic. On average, 4 in 1,000 people have gone missing in this area, which is twice the average national average. One theory for this is due to the terrain that exists in Alaska, combined with unpredictable weather patterns, which can lead to disorientation and a loss of a sense of direction. Now, I've also heard that, there's portals there, there's aliens there, UFOs, all kinds of shit. But that's a deeper dive than what we're going to do. But this triangle, it's mostly dense ass forest. So anything could be located in that motherfucker. Hell, they could just fall off a cliff and you'll never know. That's how dense this shit is. And I wouldn't go in that motherfucker to search for anybody, especially with fucking some of the stories I've heard talking about fucking strange sounds and fucking UFOs or UAPs and other oddities. Whether it be strange weather patterns, portals to another dimension, or simply disorientation, the mystery of the Alaskan Triangle may never be solved. How about I bring up our first cryptid / Native American mythological creature? I'm talking about the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird is a mythological creature of legendary status, appearing in particular North American indigenous peoples' history and culture. It is considered a supernatural being of power and strength. It is especially important and frequently depicted in the art, songs, and oral histories of many Pacific Northwest coast cultures. But not only is it found in the tribes around Alaska, it is also found in various forms among some groups of people located in the American Southwest, East Coast of the United States, Great Lakes, and Great Plains. I'm not going to get into the details of its worship and the way it's held within the belief system of the people, which, if you think about it, if more than one group of people have stories of these creatures and they're separated by miles, and I'm talking about hundreds or thousands of miles, wouldn't these creatures, they had stories of these creatures, wouldn't it appear that they existed at one point or another? In modern times, it has achieved notoriety as a purported cryptid, similar to creatures such as our old friends Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. Most depictions of the Thunderbird are of a giant eagle with a black tail and a severely carved beak. Thunderbirds are so large that they hunt whales as food. And here's a fun fact. The Pokemon Zapdos owes its inspiration to the Thunderbird. And so this is a little bit off subject. Compared to cryptids, certain Pokemon in the franchise match up perfectly, like Zapdos to the Thunderbird. Sly King evolution line compares to all Bigfoot-like creatures. So basically, cryptids in our world are the legendary / pseudo-legendary Pokemon of that world. So if everybody has seen a Bigfoot or a Chupacabra or any kind of cryptid had a Pokeball with them, boom, proof of you got it. There's no way of saying, hey, that don't exist. Bitch, I got this motherfucker in a ball. Let me bring it out. So let's move on to a abandoned / ghost town. Portlock is a ghost town located on the southern edge of the Kenai Peninsula, around 16 miles or 26 kilometers south of Sledovia. It is located in Port Chatham Bay, from which an adjacent community takes its name. Portlock was established on the peninsula in the early 20th century as a cannery. If you don't know what that is, it's where they catch fish, put them in a can. As the name says, it's cannery. Particularly for salmon. It is thought to have been named after Captain Nathaniel Portlock, a British ship captain who sailed there in 1786. In 1921, a United States post office opened in the town. The population largely consisted of Russian Aleuts. Around the 1940s, it is reported that several Dall sheep hunters had disappeared in the hills outside of Portlock. It is also stated in a 1973 article from the Anchorage Daily News that dismembered bodies of some of the missing had washed ashore in the lagoon. Ooh, we got a mystery, Reggie. These events led to the residents of the community to flee en masse, and the town's post office officially closed between 1950 and 1951. Many villagers blamed the unexplained deaths and disappearances on a Bigfoot-like creature referred to locally as Nanticoke. Oh shit, I'm gonna butcher this. Nanticoke. Whatever. It's Natinaq. Most of the people who fled Portlock in the 1940s moved to the nearby native Alaskan villages of Nanwalek and Port Graham. The village of Nanwalek still maintains private ownership of Portlock today. In recent years, the community has considered the possibility of reestablishing Portlock as a village. Imagine having to abandon your home because a Bigfoot ripped apart your neighbor. Just think everybody was worried about grizzlies. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the only town I've heard of that, not only had deaths blamed on a Bigfoot-like creature, but the town was abandoned because of said creature. Fascinating. But yet they never said who killed them people and why. Alaska has way more stories than this, but it would take a whole lot more than one episode to cover everything. But like most trips, we have to keep on trucking. Be sure to tune in next week because we're going to Arizona. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. The show is yet again found on platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible. I'm trying to get Google Podcasts to take me. Yeah. Make sure y'all come back now.